Ooh, I like that. Alrighty, weather impact alert. Why? Thunderstorm possibilities, not just today. If you miss out today, don't worry, plenty of chances for some soaking rain. Unfortunately, it is coming along with spring-like things. Yes, thunderstorms going to be possible as early this afternoon today. Not everyone sees it today, but this weather impact alert starts now and it's going to run all the way through Sunday because daily we're going to have rain and storm chances. For some reason, Colleen's camera just went out, so let's ignore that. But if it were to be working, it would show you the skies are cloudy right now. If you haven't been out and about just yet, you may want to grab the umbrella. We're seeing some extremely light precipitation falling. If it is hitting the ground, radar just barely picking up some light green here. So no thunderstorms quite yet. You can see a frontal boundary approaching the I-20 corridor in our northwestern zones here shortly. However, a lot of times when cold fronts try to start dropping south across our viewing area, they're going to start competing with this warm and humid air and flow coming up from the Gulf, and it slows these fronts down. We see that all the time across central Texas. That is likely what happens into this afternoon. Why does that matter so much? Not only will this late afternoon we have peak daytime heating in motion if there's any breaks in the clouds, and or if we are rolling into, I'd say, about 4 to 9 p.m. That is kind of the prime time hours for severe weather a lot of times across central Texas. So right around where that frontal boundary is situated, when it starts to compete with the warm and humid air that we've got in place already, it basically creates the conditions to see those thunderstorms not only pop up, but if it's a stalled out frontal boundary, that's going to be where conditions are greatest and most enhanced for those thunderstorms to pop up. And if the front slows down, those thunderstorms can just sit there basically. It's not going to have the mechanics that push it further south. So that's something we're going to be watching. You can see it's still outside of our viewing area right now, but as that front slows down, likely stalls out in our northwestern counties this afternoon and evening. If it does stall out, we're going to be watching for the development of isolated thunderstorms that kind of just sit there. Can not only cause for quite a bit of rain to fall in a short time frame, but also if we are seeing pockets of hail, gusty winds, things of that nature, it could get kind of rowdy for a few hours is what I'm telling you this afternoon and evening. So something that I just want to let you know, first and foremost, we're watching for. Right now, it's extremely light activity. I mentioned if this is hitting the ground, it's likely some light drizzle, maybe a little bit of light rainfall. So this is what radar is likely to look like between now, it is 11:15, and probably about 2-3 o'clock when we start to see the brief heavy downpours, the isolated thunderstorms start to be more and more so on radar. Again, not everyone sees thunderstorms today. Not everyone sees straight up rainfall today either. Chances are going to go up as we approach the weekend. Friday and Saturday, I think are overall going to be the best chances for rain. Again, Friday, Saturday. Today, isolated thunderstorms going to be possible. It is favoring our northwestern and our northern zones. I'm talking Hillsborough, pointing up to Dallas-Fort Worth. You're going to Dallas for some reason today. They have a little bit higher of a risk to be seeing overall thunderstorm activity on radar and rain period. So pocket change size hail. What is the threshold for hail if we were to see a severe thunderstorm warning? An inch or a quarter in diameter. Radar picks that up. It would trigger a warning and or a 58-mile-an-hour wind gust would also do that. All right, so this is what a short range guidance is showing us, and you can pretty much believe it day of. It's going to be very close to what radar is going to look like because this is only a few hours from now. I think we start to see a couple of isolated thunderstorms bubbling up. Again, it favors our northwestern and northern counties where they're going to be closer to that cold front. However, we could even see it down in the Brazos Valley or just outside of there. I can't pinpoint exactly where this is going to be, but could include the Waco Metro and even some of our western zones along Highway 36 or 281. Could also include the I-35 corridor. This is going to be when things peak for today. Isolated to scattered thunderstorms can bubble up this afternoon, peaking around dinner time, and then start to back off a little bit once the sun does go down. But I mentioned if this frontal boundary does stall out somewhere across our viewing area, these storms could start to cluster together right where that front is and drop quite a bit of rain in a short time frame and be pretty dramatic there for a couple of hours around bedtime. So that's the main thing we're watching for is, does that front stall out? Do we have thunderstorms already in motion, and are they just going to sit over a couple of areas later on this evening? Likely Thursday, tomorrow, we have a lull in things. We're going to wake up to likely some patches of drizzle. It's going to be very humid, bottom out in the 60s once again. We jump up above 80 degrees for high temperatures, partly to mostly cloudy skies, and isolated thunderstorms are going to be possible tomorrow afternoon and evening once again. Honestly, it looks lesser so than today. Today, better shot than tomorrow. We roll into Friday, and especially the back half of Friday, likely we have more on radar. Let's switch to a second weather model here and see what it is showing us. This is in agreement that we're going to see isolated activity in the form of thunderstorms this afternoon and evening, peaking, I would say, around dinner time. And you can see that it looks like they're going to start to cluster together. This is going to be the best chance to be seeing those isolated pocket change to quarter-sized hail this afternoon, and especially early evening around dinner time, probably right after you get off of work. That is typically when things peak here, but it's also going to be when the front is trying to drop south across our viewing area. So again, watching for that frontal boundary, exactly where it's going to be situated, and likely that's where the clustered thunderstorms are going to be later on this evening. We have a lull in things Thursday. We're going to see isolated pockets of rainfall and maybe a couple of isolated thunderstorms. It's not going to be widespread on Thursday. Friday, front half of the day, we look to be clear. However, we could see isolated thunderstorms, especially in the back half of Friday. Saturday is the best chance for rain. Front half of Saturday is looking like potentially, let's switch to this next model. You can see I mentioned the back half of Friday, we can have brief heavy downpours and quite a bit of rain falling across the viewing area, but a lot of it is going to be Saturday. I put it about 80–90% you see rain at your house on Saturday. This can be heavy downpours. Some of us could rack up over an inch of rain on Saturday alone, and you can see it is associated with another frontal boundary that will impact our temperature slightly as we head on into Sunday and early next week. Sunday, by the way, we're keeping a small rain chance, keeping the weather impact alert. It will end on Sunday. If it looks like models are backing off and we're not going to still have precipitation in place on Sunday, we'll drop that alert. For now, we're going to keep it in place, like I said. Forecasted rainfall. This is just between now and Sunday evening. This map always changes. It's going to change between now and probably this afternoon. But what it is picking up on is potentially where thunderstorms do what we call training. Yes, like a choo-choo train. That means they're following one another and hitting the same spots over and over. So if they become linear in fashion in the same areas, pick up multiple rounds over several days, yes, some folks could get 4 inches of rain. I think it's going to be widespread, more about 1 inch to 2 inches. But you know what? We haven't seen this map look like this in quite some time. So I'm excited for it. We're in drought conditions. We need the rainfall. We just don't want the nasty thunderstorms. So if you don't have 6+ on your TV, that is where we're constantly posting weather videos, updates, things of that nature. We're also live streaming radar. We'll be doing that on our website as well. You can see that, again, just recapping things. Isolated thunderstorms today, especially this afternoon and evening. Same thing for tomorrow. More widespread activity slated as we approach and go through the front half of the weekend. Jasmine.
Whitney, thank you so much.